What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your daily astrology horoscope for Thursday, November 17th, 2022. Astrologer Brian Scarborough here, Fixed Air Moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. Truly appreciate you all. Hope you're having a great week so far. Let's take a look at the horoscope for Thursday. And, well, we will see that there's definitely some shifts taking place, and we can definitely feel these, and, might even come through the mind, of course, too, with Mercury ingressing into Sagittarius, conjunct with Venus. They're going to be pacing each other for most of a good portion of, the next week, really. They're going to be lockstep. So, I think with Mercury leaving Scorpio, yeah, we've had to go through some dark places mentally. We've had to go and, understand transmutation in our life. And as we come into Sagittarius, we're rising up. We're kind of looking at things more abstract. In Sagittarius, remember, Mercury is at detriment in Sagittarius. It's a lot. So it's not only is it a lot in Sagittarius, dealing with Venus qualities, with Mercury and Venus together, and the North Node dispositor being Venus, and it's in Taurus, all these values, having to understand this big concept of self-worth, and kind of like look at bigger picture opportunities in life, but it's non-linear. So we don't have to look at things so linear. We don't have to be so caught up in the analytics of life. I would say with that moon here in Virgo, we can definitely want to be analytical, and I think that it is time to, get things organized, and we could feel a need to organize our life and our reality and kind of get things in a position where at least they feel like they make sense, but maybe they don't, linearly make sense. It's an interesting energy. But Mercury doesn't necessarily need to look at the fine print in Sagittarius. It needs to kind of have the vision. So the more you can conceptually have the vision and look at bigger picture, look at where things can expand, where things can grow, and I think use your imagination, you're going to be doing better. We're also in Sun at 25 degrees, which is trying the midpoint of Jupiter and Neptune in Pisces. So, it's definitely, there's a lot of positive influence right now in the vision and in the faith and being able to believe. And with Mars retrograde at 2311 here in Gemini square Neptune, that's a tight square. It's way less than a degree, so we're deep in the Mars square Neptune for the second time, which we're going to be feeling for a long time. Again, while Mercury and Venus are together, we're seeing Mars square Neptune that entire time as well. So having to just act on the point or the fact of the matter is much more difficult than the intuition. The intuition's so strong right now. The intuition is the gift. That's what's expanding. And it's like spiritually we can feel everything that we need to feel right now to transmute and grow and organize things in a way that maybe are different. It's a different approach. And even Saturn here at 19 degrees of Aquarius, breaking off the square to Uranus, it's like we are actually starting to kind of put things together in a more structured manner for a future in an abstract, odd sort of way that's more unique. So it's really getting back to your uniqueness, your value, expanding upon your value, expanding upon the relationships in life that let you expand, that let you grow, that let you be free to think differently. It's almost like life's a damn Picasso painting right now. And I think that that's beautiful, right? Think about how prized a Picasso painting is. Like, our lives are Picasso paintings, and I know that they can look scary or so weird at times. You're like, what the heck is going on here? And life can feel that way, and the moon in Virgo can not really enjoy that. It cannot feel comfortable in that. It wants things to be more like a Botticelli painting, if you will, like really beautiful and put together properly and proportional. And it's not the gift isn't in the proportion right now. It's really in the different, the bigger imagination that you can have to transmute energy. And with the sun also sextile Pluto, which is the dispositor of the South Node, ruler of Scorpio, hey, the transmutation is in the integrity for you to find the grit to keep going and keep growing right now. It's not like just stay here and you'll be safe. It's like, gosh, I just say that, and that's one of the things I hear most right now from people in the collective and people in my life or people on the internet that I talk to. Everybody is really focused on safety right now. And I think that safety can only be found when you find that integrity within yourself to really feel grounded in an ungrounded, unstable, feels like everything's a Picasso painting and all over the place. But it's finding the beauty in that because you're finding the beauty and the purity within yourself. And I think it's a deeply emotional day. And I think that we can also want to repress emotion, but the depth of feeling in our life right now is part of the expanse, and it's part of the evolution, and it's part of the spiritual, honestly, a little bit of spiritual enlightenment, probably a lot of spiritual enlightenment that can't even be linearly defined, but it's trusting that feeling that you've learned throughout your life and up into this point or today, whenever it's taking all of that wisdom and putting it into the now so that you can aim your arrow here in a direction that is nurturing and is safe within you, because within you is exactly what is going on in the universe. The universe is not without, it's within. Remember that. So as we're going through this Thursday, and it is a Jupiter day, and we got this, energy coming into Jupiter's home, this is definitely expanding through the feeling of fear or doubt or guilt or things that we want to hold on to or repress. We have to let these aspects out so that we can keep growing and keep going. And with the moon making good aspects to the nodes today, it's the same story here. Like, start putting things in order for that deeper sense of value within you, and not so much in the value of everything that's outside of you. And it's okay to let go of things, because the beautiful things are going to keep growing if you're paying attention to those and not putting and hyper focusing, because even a moon in Virgo can get almost OCD on the things it doesn't like. Instead of worrying and getting so emotionally caught up in the things you don't like, focus on the things that you're hopeful about, that you want to see happen, that you're also nurturing and tending to and growing. It's beautiful for that. And it's like we can get so caught up on the little details right now, and they're just going to put us into a stressful place. They're just going to put us into a lost place with Mars square Neptune, with a moon here in Virgo, making aspects to the South Node. We can get caught up in these areas of life that they're dead, right? And I've said that before, but it's like, what's the newborn energy in your life right now? And how does it feel when you put more effort there and put more scheduled time and more routine into that area, instead of the hyperfixation on what it is that you don't like? It's like the perspective shift into what you really do want to see happen and grow and expand in your life. It's a great day to expand that, because we could just as easily expand a story in our life right now that we don't like, or that doesn't feel good, that is putting our safety in the hands of something outside of us, when really your safety and security is just within you. And how can you ground and nurture that today and expand what that story can open up in your life? Because remember, Mercury does not want to be in Sag. It doesn't. And Mars and Mercury are not sharing reception anymore, that mutual reception that they had going. So Mars is taking a hit. It's square Neptune. I'll be honest, people can feel way too lost right now, trying to have everything in a perfected state. It's not about perfection. Think of life as a Picasso painting, and you have to really enjoy the abstract view and the artistic nature of creation right now, because there's just no saying that you're going to get perfection on a day like this or in life in general. It's definitely loving the chaos and seeing how beautiful that is, so that you can keep a positive belief in something beautiful through chaos, if you will. Speaking of Botticelli, I'm using the Botticelli deck today. Brought him up with that Picasso analogy. But, stark difference between the artists, right? Like, some of the most beautiful, proportionate artwork was done by Botticelli in the Renaissance, and then you got Picasso, and it's just like, I just throw some... It's like life feels that way right now. but it's really seeing how everything's kind of thrown all over the place, but also seeing the symmetry in the imperfection and how perfect imperfection really is, especially within ourselves if we're holding and repressing some kind of, guilt. Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Definitely, I don't know, today we could feel lost, like we don't know how to start the new story, how we don't know how to build the reality or get things where we want it. I think that there's such an intuitive, like today's an intuitive powerhouse. And I think your feelings right now will show you how to create and organize reality in your favor. You want to trust that instead of getting lost, maybe thinking that you can't start this new physical experience. You definitely can. Justice, we get that a lot. It is that balance in our lives. It is being the judge and justifying things. We want to make things fair, and we have to be able to expand on how we can win. And I think that it does come through, taking some things off and putting some things on that are in alignment with our passions, our heart, our story. What are we trying to do right now? You got to look at your own life and really start to even it out. There's something that's out of balance. So why not look at that, and not in a painful way of looking at it within yourself where you're like, gosh, I'm such an idiot, or why did I do that? But just, the acceptance that, oh yeah, you know what, if I do this a little bit differently and tweak this here, and maybe if I do that over and over again instead of the same thing over and over again, maybe I will find more balance and alignment. And the King of Pentacles. So overall, we can definitely be feeling very strong, very powerful in our throne of creation, and realizing that we're masters here. We have the tools. We've done the work. It's time to really put that to work. That you've done it. That you're at this point now where it's like, why would you doubt what you can build and what you can have and what you can create? Why would you take yourself off that throne? There's no point. There's no point. That's the point. If the point that everybody's looking for is just that point that we have all taken ourselves off the throne of creation by giving our power in this physical world to something outside of ourselves. It's time to take that back. I love you all very much. I hope you have a great Thursday. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here with me, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace.